The 369th Infantry Regiment occupies a singular place in American military history. Known worldwide as the Harlem Hellfighters, the regiment earned legendary status during the First World War for its extraordinary combat service under French command. During the Second World War, however, the regiment's story was different, defined less by overseas combat and more by homeland defense, racial barriers, and the struggle for recognition and equality within the U.S. Army. Though it did not fight on foreign battlefields in World War II, the 369th Infantry Regiment remained an active and disciplined unit whose service reflected both the limitations and the slow transformation of the American military during the era of segregation. Origins and mobilization. The 369th Infantry Regiment traced its lineage to the 15th New York National Guard Regiment, formed in 1916 and composed largely of African American soldiers from Harlem and New York City. Its heroism in World War I, spending more time in frontline combat than any other American regiment, cemented its place in history. In the years between the wars, the regiment remained part of the New York National Guard, maintaining its traditions despite chronic underfunding and limited opportunities. Following the outbreak of World War II in Europe, the regiment was federalized on the 27th of March, 1941, months before the attack on Pearl Harbor, as part of the United States' expansion and mobilization. Training and stateside service. Once mobilized, the 369th Infantry Regiment trained at Camp Edwards, Massachusetts, and later at other installations along the eastern seaboard. Like many African American units of the era, the regiment faced systemic discrimination, receiving fewer opportunities for advanced training and combat deployment. Despite this, the regiment maintained high standards of discipline and readiness. Training focused on infantry tactics and weapons proficiency, coastal and infrastructure defense security operations, emergency response, and internal defense. The men of the 369 were fully prepared for combat, but Army policy at the time severely restricted the deployment of African American combat units. Role in homeland defense. Throughout World War II, the 369th Infantry Regiment was primarily assigned to continental United States defense missions, particularly along the East Coast. These duties included guarding ports, bridges, and transportation hubs, protecting vital industrial and shipping facilities, responding to potential sabotage or enemy action, supporting civil defense and emergency operations. These missions, though lacking the visibility of overseas combat, were strategically essential. German U-boats operated off the Atlantic coast, and fears of espionage, sabotage, or coastal raids were very real in the early years of the war. Barriers to overseas deployment. Despite repeated requests and demonstrated readiness, the 369th Infantry Regiment was never deployed overseas during World War II. This decision was not based on performance or capability, but on the deeply entrenched segregation policies of the U.S. Army. African American soldiers were often relegated to service, labor, or security roles, regardless of their combat potential. The regiment's leadership and enlisted men were keenly aware of the contradiction between their proud combat legacy and their restricted wartime role. Nevertheless, morale remained strong, bolstered by regimental pride, discipline, and the enduring legacy of their World War I predecessors. Cultural and symbolic importance. Even without overseas combat, the 369th Infantry Regiment played a crucial symbolic role during World War II. Its continued existence as a disciplined Black infantry regiment challenged stereotypes and quietly undermined arguments used to justify segregation. The regiment also maintained strong ties to the African American community in New York, participating in parades, public events, and bond drives. These activities reinforced the idea that African American soldiers were an essential part of the national war effort. The regiment's story during World War II became part of the broader push toward equality, helping lay the groundwork for later change. Post-war transition and legacy. After the war, the 369th Infantry Regiment was returned to National Guard status. The broader impact of African American service during World War II, including the experience of units like the 369th, helped influence President Harry S. Truman's 1948 executive order desegregating the U.S. Armed Forces. Though the regiment did not add new battle streamers during World War II, its service represented continuity, perseverance, and quiet professionalism under unjust constraints. Decorations and honors. During World War II, the regiment did not receive campaign participation credit, as it did not deploy overseas. However, its historic honors from World War I remained intact, and its soldiers earned individual commendations for stateside service and excellence. The regiment's greatest honor remained its legacy, proven beyond question on the battlefields of France a generation earlier.